The following is a presentation of IMG, America's home for college sports. Live from Quaker Steak and Lube on US 1 in Edison, this is the Chris Ash Show. Your chance to talk with the head coach of the Scarlet Knights on the Rutgers IMG Sports Network. Tonight's show is brought to you by To be a part of the show, give us a call at 1-877-384-1869. That's 877-384-1869. Now, let's go live to Quaker Steak and Lube in Edison to talk Rutgers football.
And welcome, everybody, to another edition of the Chris Ash Show. Welcome here. Of course, at Quaker Steak and Lube in Edison, New Jersey, Chris Carlin, alongside former Scarlet Knight Eric LeGrande. How are you?
I'm doing great, Chris. How are you?
I'm doing terrific, and I know that the head coach of the Scarlet Knights, off of 2 consecutive Big Ten wins, is doing pretty well, too. That is Chris Ash. Coach, how goes it?
You know what? I'm doing great because he's back with us this week.
Yes, sir.
Forget the wins. I'm just glad he's back.
Well, he is back with us, and we're thrilled to have him. 877-384-1869. 877-384-1869, our telephone number. You can always tweet us your question for Coach Ash at Rutgers Radio. And if you're in attendance, we have got your microphone set up right here in the front to our left. Come on up front, and we will get your questions in for the coach. And we start off of the 14-12 victory over Purdue this past Saturday. And, boy, I tell you, it got exciting down the stretch, but ultimately your team came through and made plays when they needed to the most, Coach.
Yeah, it did get a little exciting down the stretch, a little too much for me, but it was great to finish it that way. Just so happy for our guys again to get another chance to celebrate a Big Ten victory. It was a great gut check for our guys. We would not have won that game in the past, and you need to be able to win those games. We want to win the football games, by playing well in all 3 phases, but it starts with playing good defense, which we did. Playing good on special teams, which we did, and outscoring the opponent, which we did. So I'm happy that we were able to do that. And, again, I'm just so happy for our players.
Yeah, and that last breakout, Coach, on the 2-point conversion, you could just tell the excitement in your face and just your celebration on the sideline. How long do you let yourself, keep on going and, celebrate with the players until you have to get ready, for that onside kick coming up?
I really forgot about the
onside kick. That's what I saw you going crazy over there.
Yeah, I was going. Yeah, I was having fun. Then I looked up the clock and I said, "Oh man, we got another." Then it was all flipping the switch and getting ready and getting focused for the onside kick, which thankfully went our way.
Well, let's talk about that game down the stretch. Boy, your defense did a terrific job. There was a lot of bend but don't break. They made, I thought the kid from Purdue made a great catch and, had about as good a coverage as you can. Take us down the stretch of that game and how it all kind of unfolded.
Well, I'll start, when you talk about bend but don't break, that's not our philosophy. That's not what we want to be on defense, but I'll take it.
Yep.
But I'll give Purdue a lot of credit. Going into the game, we were concerned about their passing game and not their running attack. They employed some new schemes in the running game that we had not seen or hadn't seen all year from anybody. So I'll give them credit, and it took us a while to get our players to adjust to them. And they just kept bleeding us for some yards in the run game. Then they had a fake flea flicker.
Which I have never seen.
Flea flicker is kind of like a regular play in their playbook. And so we'd practice that quite a bit. We didn't practice the fake flea flicker, though. And that got us for a good chunk of yards. But we did defend the pass exceptionally well, in my opinion. We were great on third down. And then on that last drive, they made a great play to get the touchdown. And our guys rose to the occasion and stopped them on a 2-point play. And just really happy with our defense. Again, I think we're continuing to get better. We have to get better. We're not where we need to be, but man, you look back to last year and the way we played defense last year and the way we're playing this year, a drastic difference. And we just got to keep getting better.
Hey, Coach, 2 questions. have you ever seen a fake flea flicker before? Because I never seen that happen before. And the other one is, talk about those 2 turnovers that happen, coming off a 3 and out, but then you get a big play right there, making an interception and getting the ball back to your offense. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, in my time as a defensive coach, I've seen a lot of tricks and gadgets. I've seen a lot of offense. I have never seen the fake flea flicker like that.
Yeah.
One that was actually executed to perfection, I might add. But so no, I've never seen that. But the 2 takeaways, we won the turnover takeaway battle in that game, and thankfully we did. We would not have won that game if we would have turned the ball over at all and given them another opportunity to score. The fact that we won it 2-0, that was really the difference in the game, in my opinion. It started with KJ Gray, an outstanding interception there at the end of the first half. When they got the ball with good field position. And then Damon Hayes in the second half made an outstanding play on a double move. He'd actually been beat on a double move the week before against Illinois, so they tried it again. Obviously, he learned from his failure the week before and made an outstanding play to go up and get the ball at the high point and gave us our 2 interceptions.
Our telephone number, once again, 877-384-1869, 877-384-1869. We'll get to the phones in just a few moments. We'll also get to Twitter in just a few moments as well. Offensively, not as much success in terms of running the football in this game as I'm sure you would have liked. But ultimately, you got the 2 big plays in this game that you did need. First of all, that Gus Edwards 74-yard touchdown run, boy, it just kind of seemed to burst out after he's able to get through that initial push and that one initial little scrum he was in.
Yeah, I'll just start and talk about the offense first before I talk about Gus and his run. There's a lot of talk about pass offense and, you got to do this, you got to do that to win. At the end of the day, the offense in general, their job is to outscore the opponent. How you do that really doesn't matter, in my opinion. Some days you're going to run the ball more. Some days you might have to pass the ball more. Some days you got to have balance. But no matter how you do it, as long as you get more points than the opponent, job done. And do we need to play better? Absolutely. We got to play better on defense too. We shouldn't have given up any points in that game, as far as I'm concerned, defensively. What we did, so we got to play better. We do want to run the ball better and more consistently. We do want to throw the ball, but the main objective is to win, and that means you scored more points. So we did that. How did we do it? Well, it started with 2 big explosive plays. And that's really the difference between defensive football and offensive football. We have 70 snaps on the offensive side of it, and you get 2 really good ones, and you score touchdowns, and you can win the game. And that's basically what we did. It started with Gus Edwards and his long run. I think Gus is really playing at a high level right now. O-line did a great job of blocking. He came through the hole and showed his speed for his size. And then the explosive pass play to Blackshear there on the 3rd down that gave our second touchdown was a great play too.
Another guy I want to bring up that may not get as much recognition as possible, but I've been watching him a little bit on both sides is Miles Nash, being able to play tight end. And then I seen him rushing the pass, and I believe he had a QB hit too in the end of the game. So you talk a little bit about it.
Don't tell Miles that, please. Right now he goes around. He is the self-proclaimed #1 two-way player in the nation. So he's feeling himself right now.
That's great.
But I'm really happy for Miles. His attitude and effort this season compared to last is way different. He's kind of like our football team. It's way different, and I'm happy for him. Last year, he and I had a lot of conversations about just what it's going to take for him to make it here and be successful. To his credit, man, that kid is all in. And to be able to do what he's doing to help our football team right now, he's been very selfless. He's been very motivated, and he works extremely hard to try to add value on both sides of the ball.
877-384-1869. Let's do it. We hit the phones, and we begin with our friend Sandy down in Venice, Florida. Sandy, how are you?
Good, Coach. Congratulations. How are you?
I'm doing great, Sandy. How about yourself?
It's a big win. Great for the university and great for the fans. Here's the question. In the 4th quarter, we were struggling with first downs. How do we improve on the 3 and out?
We got to execute better. It's simple as that. I mean, there's no plays that we've got to draw up and do differently. We've got to execute better. We got to block better. We got to run better. We got to throw better. We got to catch better. And that's really what it comes down to. Usually when you're going through a bad stretch, again, a lot of people think it's calling plays. It's really about executing the plays you call and doing them better and doing them more consistently.
Thank you, Coach, and good luck. And we'll be watching when you play Michigan on Saturday.
I appreciate the support.
Appreciate it, Sandy, very much. We continue on the phones. Andy is in Ridgefield Park. Andy, what's going on? You're on the Chris Ash Show.
Hey, how you guys doing? How you doing, Coach Ash?
I'm doing great. Appreciate the call.
Hey, man, I just wanted to ask you guys about the defense. I see a big improvement from last year, and I just wanted you to talk to me about what are the adjustments you guys have made to see so much improvement in 1 year.
Well, it's really not about adjustments. It's about player development. Last year we had a bunch of young players, especially at the linebacker position. We didn't have a lot of depth on the D-line just because of our experience or lack of experience. And I think through last season, we're a lot better off right now today because of what we went through last year. We developed players through playing time. It wasn't pretty football for some of them last year. Guys like Deontay Roberts and Trevor Morris, first-time starting linebackers, it wasn't pretty. But they learned, they grew, they developed, they built experience through that situation, and they're a lot better off right now today. And that's really what it is. It's player development. And a lot of people forget that part of coaching and building a program is player development. And I think when you look at our defense, we're not great by any means yet, but we're a lot better. And it's not a product of adjustments or scheme changes. It's a product of player development and guys working really hard to improve themselves.
Well, yeah, Coach, you're doing a great job at that. Just keep it going, and I'll see you there November 4th against Marion. I'll be wearing black, all right? Good luck.
Thank you.
Good stuff. Other things that you took out of this game, boy, your punter, Ryan Anderson, and your coverage teams are just doing a phenomenal job for you right now, and really the majority of all your coverage units right now.
Yeah, I mean, if there's one thing that I've taken the most pride in right now on our football team, it's our special teams. I'm heavily involved. I'm not a coach that stands back and watches other people coach the special teams. I get right in the middle of it with the personnel and the schemes, and I think our coaching staff is completely all into special teams. I think our players are right now. We talk about it all the time. You talk about what's the truest measure of the type of culture you have in your program. Just look at your special teams. Because it's made up of players on offense, defense, young, old, starters, backups. It doesn't matter where you're from or what you're doing. If you buy into special teams, you can add value. And right now we have a lot of people doing it. And our units, our coverage units have really improved. We're punting the ball exceptionally well. Ryan Anderson continues to gain confidence. But our coverage units, and especially our gunners, have done an outstanding job. Our kickoff unit right now, we're number one in the league. It starts with our kicker. But it's the attitude and the effort that the players that are covering the kicks have given, and I'm really happy with that right now. And I think that shows the type of culture we have because those units are selfless units and not one of those guys other than the specialists were recruited to do it, but they're doing it at a high level.
Coach, what do you think the biggest difference from last year to this year is with the team? You could I know winning helps, but it looks like everyone's just having more fun. Everyone's, has more pride in what they have to do and pride in their role on a team like a DeCoven Bailey, as we talked about him a few weeks ago, going down there and making 3 tackles. It's just like there's more pride to them, and everyone's just embracing their role.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I mean, at the end of the day, what allows players to have more fun doing what they do, it's having some success. Mm-hmm. And even though we haven't won all the games that we've wanted to win, we've been in every game except one. I mean, the Ohio State game is what it is. We didn't play well. They're an outstanding football team. But every other game on our schedule, we have been in it to the fourth quarter. And players have played and had success in their roles. And when they do that and they can see that and they can see the improvement, it is exciting. It is motivating. And it does help them come in every single day with a great attitude to keep trying to improve, to be better. And I think that's really what it is. Last year we didn't have that. In any phase, and through development and just through constant work and culture building and conversations, our players are starting to see improvement and having success on the field, and that's allowed them to have more fun.
877-384-1869. We will get back to the phones in just a few moments. Also, if you're here in attendance, ask your questions up front. We also have a couple of Twitter questions, and you can follow on Facebook Live as well. We'll get your questions in from there. We'll take our first break of the night. Hang with us. We are at Quaker Steak and Lube in Edison for this week's edition of the Chris Ash Show.
Need a place to watch all the pro games? Look no further than Quaker Steak and Lube. Best Wings USA on Route 1 in Edison. 50 TVs, great game day specials starting at just $2.50, and the best wings in the USA with over 25 different wing sauces. Enjoy our outdoor patio and bar open all year round. On the way to the game and need something to go? Give us a call, 732-777-WING. We cater events of any size. Watch all the games, have a great time, and enjoy the best wings in the USA. 561 Route 1 in Edison. 732-777-WING.
When you're looking for tickets to that sold-out event, there's only one place to go. TickCity.com, the official secondary ticket partner of Rutgers Athletics. Scarlet Knight fans can save 10% on all orders when you use the discount code Rutgers at checkout. From sporting events to the hottest concerts, Broadway and family shows across the country, all your ticket needs are covered at your fan-friendly ticket source. TickCity.com. That's TickCity.com.
The Chris Ash Show returns after this local timeout. This is the Rutgers IMG Sports Network.
When Samantha was in dire need of a new heart, she turned to RWJ Barnabas Health, who performs more adult heart transplants than any healthcare system on the East Coast.
I'm still here.
Jean cherishes every moment spent with her great-grandkids, thanks to our kidney transplant program that ranks among the nation's top 10.
Still here.
Robert promised his granddaughter he'd make it to her next birthday. Thanks to New Jersey's only lung transplant center, he did.
I'm not going anywhere.
From corneal and pancreatic transplants to heart, kidney, and lung, our patients aren't who they used to be. They're better. Learn more about our transplant centers at Newark Beth Israel Medical Center, St. Barnabas Medical Center, and Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital. Visit rwjbh.org/transplant. RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
Handoff, it's Edwards, straight up the gut, and Gus breaks the tackle. He's off to the races, to the 50, to the 40, to the 30. Adios, compadres! Gus Edwards is gone, straight down the turnpike. 74 yards for the Rutgers touchdown. Got the Scarlet Knights off to a good start the other day, and they win it 14-12 over the Purdue Boilermakers. Welcome back to Quaker Steak and Lube in Edison. This is this week's edition of the Chris Ash Show. We've got calls, we've got questions for the coach, 877-384-1869. Let us go to our next phone call. It is Angeles in New York City. Angeles, you're on the Coach's Show. How are you? Angeles, are you there?
Hello?
Hi.
Oh, yes. How you doing?
Great.
Okay. Hi, Coach Ash. It's Helly, Mrs. Austin.
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. You sure you're doing well? Your voice, you sound a little hoarse.
It's called coaching. It's all good.
Oh, okay.
I appreciate the concern, though.
Okay. So I have a quick question regarding the offense side. Because you did mention that you're very involved with special team, and I know you're involved with defense. How involved are you with the offense side?
I'm not at all. I'm not an offensive coach. Never have been in my career. Every now and then I'll offer some suggestions on things that I see. But we hire offensive coaches for a reason, and that's to coach. And I'm going to stick in my strength zone, and that's defense and special teams.
Okay, all right. But would we start seeing a little bit more of the wide receivers, do you think?
Well, if we'd love to, yeah. But there's a lot that goes into that. It's not just the wide receivers. We got to pass protect. We got to throw the ball. There's a number of things that go into the pass game being successful. And I can tell you, we work on it constantly. We just got to get it transferred over to the game day and get the kind of results that we want. But we are working on it. We do it nonstop and constantly trying to evaluate what we're doing and who we're doing it with and trying to get the results better on Saturday.
Congratulations on the 2 wins. Well, now 3 wins, but 2 wins for the Big Ten, and I'm hoping to see much more.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. So are we. I really appreciate the call.
All right, thanks very much, Angeles. We appreciate it. Plus Austin's mom checking in. So now, Coach, heading out of that game, when you have your team off of 2 straight wins, it's only natural the confidence is rising at this point. What have these 2 wins back-to-back done for your team mentally this week that you've noticed?
Well, we work these guys extremely hard. We ask a lot of them. And when you go out there and play and you don't see the results or the improvement, it's a demotivator. And the fact that we've been able to go out there and finally start to have some success and win games, it's motivating. And what I've seen is the confidence level rise, belief in what we're doing continue to rise, and I just see the overall attitude and approach to our preparation, our practice continue to improve.
I want to talk a little bit about the locker room, Coach. We get to see a little bit of videos, that you put on social media. But what is it like in the locker room afterwards? And, I see you dancing in the middle of the huddle, everything. Talk a little bit about what it's like after a victory in that locker room.
It's great to be able to show off my moves. Hopefully you're impressed by them.
I like to jump it up and down, Coach.
Yeah, you like that. Hopefully we can do it a little bit more. That's why we do what we do, is to be able to celebrate with the players and watch them really enjoy their hard work. We haven't had an opportunity to do that a whole lot since I've been here. And the fact that we've been able to do it back-to-back weeks with Big Ten victories, it's just awesome. It's a great feeling. Honestly, it's why I coach every day, is to see these players have success. And to be able to watch them in the locker room the last 2 Saturdays, man, it's been unbelievable. It's really fun to watch.
We've got our guy Jim in New Brunswick in attendance, who is asking his question. Jim, how are you?
Hey, Chris. Hey, Coach. How are you?
Doing great. Good to see you again.
Congratulations. 2 big wins. My question is, you've had some luck with fifth-year grad transfers in the past. When does that stuff start materializing? Is it now? Do you have people on your radar, or do you just kind of wait and see who's going to be on the market?
You just wait and see. One, we got to identify what our needs are and see if we're even in the market for that. Again, we were this year, and we've had some success with guys. But that every year is different. Every recruiting class is different. Doesn't mean that we're going to have to do it again. Doesn't mean we'd have to do the same numbers that we have in the past again. But if we are in the market and looking for somebody, usually it's after the season, and it could be after spring ball. Also next spring, when guys go through spring practice and off-season workouts wherever they're at, and decide to make a change when that is over.
Thanks, Coach, and shock the world.
We're just trying to get better.
Shock the world.
We got a couple of questions on Twitter. Again, that's at Rutgers Radio, at Rutgers Radio. Coach, this is from Zealot. What advice would you give to your defensive backs as they continue to improve and get better? You as a defensive back coach, there's obviously a lot of coaching that goes into it, but where do defensive backs need to work the hardest to get better?
Really in all phases. It starts with our fundamentals and our technique, and we work on that every single day. Our film studies, so we get a good understanding of what our opponent is going to show us, both from the pass game and in the run game. Our communication has to continue to improve, so we are all on the same page. And then the last part of it is just our eye discipline. In the secondary, if your eyes aren't right, you can give up big plays that cost you ball games. And we work really hard on those guys in all those areas every single day. The real cool thing is that we're down 3 defensive starters the last 2 games, or in the secondary, I should say. And the next guys have stepped up and played exceptionally well that have given us an opportunity to win those games. So really, really happy for them. And they just work really hard right now because they know that's a position that can cost you games. D-line, you got to be great at the D-line, but if they make a mistake, we can make up for it. You make a mistake at linebacker, we can make up for it. You make a mistake in secondary, it's touchdowns and it costs you football games. And our players take pride in their performance right now.
And when it comes to tackling, how much this point in the season, how much emphasis can you put on trying to practice tackling? And you want to keep guys hurt. Not getting injured and things like that. And you see sometimes you have missed tackles in the game, and they're on scholarship too, so there's going to be some. But how do you try to limit them from being in the double-digit type numbers?
Well, it gets back to your year-round approach, and we take a lot of pride in the way we tackle. If you want to be good on defense, it starts with the way you tackle. If you can't get off blocks and tackle, I don't care what schemes you run or how fast you are, how big you are. you're not going to have success. So we work on tackling year-round. It's a system that we have. It's a style that we have that allows us to do that. We do tackle every week in the season. I don't care when it is. We have our Tuesdays are called Tackle Tuesday. We have live tackling drills with our defense. We have open field tackling for our whole football team that we work on, so our special teams get better. And I think you can see our tackling on both special teams and defense has drastically improved over the last year, and we'll continue to do that. But we do tackle. We put a lot of emphasis on it. It's not just something that we drill in training camp and never do again live throughout the season. I think it's like anything else. If you don't do it, you get rusty and you lose that skill set and your ability to tackle well. So we're going to do it all the time.
Coach, we have a question on Facebook Live. This is from Margaret Sherman. Do you think the players-only meeting made a difference in the on-field performance the last couple of weeks, considering the team has won 2 straight since the meeting?
No, I don't. I feel really strong about this. Do I think it's part of the process? Yeah, absolutely, it was part of the process. But people say ask all the time, well, how'd you win this game? And most people respond, well, I had a good week of practice. You're not going to win a game if you just had a few days of good practice. It's really your again, it gets back to like the tackling. It's your year-round approach. It's the culture that you build. It's your off-season workouts. It's your spring practice, the summer training camp, and the way you continue to build and build and build, and then you finally have a chance to win a game. There's not one single event that happens that allows you to go win a football game. It's not a magical team meeting. It's not a magical speech. It's not one drill that you did in practice, and not one day of good practice. It's a culmination of a lot of things that go into victories. And we needed that team meeting that the players had that somehow got out there, but we needed it. But that was not the main reason that we've had success in the last couple games. What it did is it helped us refocus our mind and come together as a team a little bit better. But I really think we've won the last 2 games because of what we did starting last December after we were done with the Maryland game, and just continue to build our culture, our brotherhood, and work the guys extremely hard and improve them as football players.
And I wanted to ask you, we read this week that Coach Kill, he gets, after wins, he likes to get into guys a little bit and get into them and show, what they do wrong. I want to know, do you take that same approach method? You get after them after they win a little bit, so, they had the success of winning, but now you can really lay into them and show them what they did wrong and, try to get them better that way.
I'll be honest with you. My weakness is I get after them every day, so it doesn't matter win or lose. Unfortunately, I try to do, like Coach is talking about. It is easier to, have accountability and hold the guys accountable and teach them a little bit harder after success than it is, after a loss. After a loss, it's more about, building them back up than it is tearing them down, and that's really what the way we look at it. But yeah, anytime you can win a game and not play as good as you want, it's an opportunity to really hold them accountable and keep pushing the buttons, so to speak, to get them better versus after a loss. It's a little bit more challenging.
All right, Coach, we'll give your voice a little bit of a break. We'll give you a few minutes off. We'll welcome in Jaffar Williams, Rutgers wide receivers coach, in just a few moments. Quick thought on Jaffar and the impact he has on your wide receiver squad.
I love Jaffar. Jaffar's a great coach. Unfortunately, he's kind of like me. He gets after him all the time. But he's doing a great job with the wide receivers. He's teaching them the fundamentals of the game all the time, really trying to help educate them on the pass game. He coaches them hard. He holds them accountable. And his meetings are great. A lot of attention to detail and a lot of great teaching and learning going on.
Well, we'll talk to him next here at Quaker Steak and Lube in Edison. Stay with us as the Chris Ash Show continues.
ESPN's Neil Everett here. This college football season, Nissan's putting you in the driver's seat. Go to NissanHeismanHouse.com. Build a customized Titan wrapped in your school's colors. Then register for a chance to win it. Or you can win a trip to the Heisman Trophy ceremony. Enter the Nissan Heisman House sweepstakes. Take on today. Nissan, proud supporter of college athletics.
No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. Ends 12/8/17. Open to residents of USDC 18 and older. Official rules at NissanUSA.com/Heisman House Sweepstakes. Sponsored by Nissan North America.
You're on the couch watching the game, and your friend hands you an ice-cold bottle of Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. This is a big moment. That's the sound you love. And that new and improved taste? Yeah, that's the refreshing, delicious, real Coca-Cola taste that you just can't get enough of. All this with 0 sugar and 0 calories. Perfection. And then, touchdown! Refresh your game day with the new and improved taste of Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. Taste the feeling.
The Chris Ash Show returns after this local timeout. This is the Rutgers IMG Sports Network.
Need a place to watch all the pro games? Look no further than Quaker Steak and Lube. Best Wings USA on Route 1 in Edison. 50 TVs, great game day specials starting at just $2.50, and the best wings in the USA with over 25 different wing sauces. Enjoy our outdoor patio and bar open all year round. On the way to the game and need something to go? Give us a call, 732-777-WING. We cater events of any size. Watch all the games, have a great time, and enjoy the best wings in the USA. 561 Route 1 in Edison. 732-777-WING.
Download the all-new Rutgers Game Day app today. Up-to-the-minute news sent right to your phone. Interactive game updates, official sideline gear, live stats, free live audio, comprehensive game day maps, real-time social streams, and more. Available in the App Store and Google Play. Get all the latest in everything Scarlet Knights athletics.
He's got it for the Rutgers touchdown!
The Rutgers Game Day app. Download today.
Sindelar looking. He's going to air it out deep downfield. Intercepted down at the 11-yard line. It's KJ Gray for the second consecutive week. Rutgers with a 14-12 win over Purdue this past Saturday. We have returned to the Chris Ash Show here at Quaker Steak and Lube in Edison on 1450 AM, WCTC New Brunswick, and on ScarletKnights.com. Also on Facebook Live, RVision, getting it done as usual. Chris Carlin and Eric LeGrand. Before we get to our next guest, we want to spend a moment to talk about a big event coming up here on November the 2nd with Mr. LeGrand. It is the 5th annual Evening with Eric LeGrand, and it's taking place at the Fiddler's Elbow Country Club from 7 to 9 on November the 2nd. For those who have been there, and many of the room here have been, it is a tremendous night. Cocktails and hors d'oeuvres, silent auction. Eric gives a terrific speech. A couple of guest speakers this year, including Mike Nichols and Mike Luciano.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. You know, this is a fundraiser from our foundation, Team LeGrand, and our goal is with this foundation, is to break over $1 million for Team LeGrand since we were established in fall of 2013. And it's about, people with spinal cord injuries and raising money and funds for them to give them the hope that they will walk again. And it's funny, the Rutgers community, they always get to see me around, and you get to see my smiling face, things like that. But I want to shine light on some of my friends that I have met over now my journey with this spinal cord injury, 7 years, and shed some light on them and let them share their story with the Rutgers community so people can be around them and see how this injury really doesn't discriminate from anybody. It can happen to anybody at any given moment if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time. And they give me inspiration too, so I believe that they deserve to be recognized and also be able to share their inspiration with the Rutgers community.
And it's a great night. It's great food, and it's put on every year by New Roads Financial Group, which are run by two big Rutgers supporters, Ron Garuti Jr. and Jason Newcomb, and they do a phenomenal job with this event every year. And to get more information, to be part of it, you can call 908-730-6346, 908-730-6346. If you're here in attendance tonight, make sure you get a flyer and come out on November the 2nd. It's next week.
Next Thursday.
Up next Thursday night, and we're looking forward to seeing you there. But by all means, come and be a part of it. And like we said, there are terrific items up on the silent auction as well, and a terrific night to hear from Eric and Mike Nichols. Just some inspirational words to be shared. A great night. Always had by all. All right, want to welcome in our next guest. He is Rutgers wide receivers coach in his second season, Jaffar Williams. How are you, Coach?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
Terrific. Good to have you with us. Let's just get this a little bit closer. I'm guessing I know the answer, but you came to Rutgers from Purdue, being the running backs coach the last 3 years. A little bittersweet or not the other day?
A little bit, but the biggest thing is I'm happy for our guys. Our guys got to go out and experience success, and do it back-to-back weeks, which is impressive. And it's good for everybody. It's good for our morale. It's good coming to work on Sunday and executing and trying to get a game plan together. Just it helps. Winning helps everything.
Yeah, I want to know what it's like for you now, the coaching some of these young guys that you get in there. Some highly recruited guys coming out that came to Jersey with Bo Melton with his family, all coming from Rutgers, and then you get Everett Wormley who's coming in there who's also going to be very successful, down the road. I'm looking forward to seeing their careers develop. But what's it been like coaching those two young guys?
It's awesome, and you can throw Hunter Hayek and Shamin Jones and all those guys in that same category. They're eager to learn, and right now they're just soaking up so much information. And I actually met with Hunter today and talked to him about how impressed I was with him. Right now with where he's at as a freshman, they really do a good job. They have great attitudes, and as long as they do that, they're going to have a chance to be successful.
Let's talk about some of the strengths of some of those younger guys. First of all, Bo Melton. Before the season, for fans that didn't get a chance to see it, it went viral. Bo dunking in the players' room on the hoop that's up there, but you could see, more importantly, you see the athletic ability that he has.
Yeah, I mean he's just naturally gifted. He has great speed, great suddenness. And that right now just has to keep translating into being a good receiver and being able to run routes and pad level and all those things that he needs to develop. But the talent is there and the want to is there.
And how much do you have to keep, these guys' confidence up, not just the young guys, but the older guys too? They may not be catching as many balls as they want to, but, the offenses, you have a good running game going, and sometimes you have to sacrifice that and go out there and block, every play. So can you talk about keeping their confidence up and being ready for when their number is called on?
Yeah, you really got to focus on your job. One of the things we're high on is just controlling what we can control, and we can't control, the run game, the pass game. It's just a matter about going out and executing your job and being assignment correct in everything. And if that means going out and blocking the whole game, that's what we're going to do. If that means going out and making some plays and just being where you're supposed to be, that's what matters.
When you bring in a guy like Dewop Mitchell, a guy that has been through it on a high level down in the SEC, how much as a coach can you rely on a guy like that from a leadership standpoint and from just teaching those younger guys?
Well, the biggest thing, like you said, is the game experience and how to prepare, on a weekly basis. Coming in and watching film and doing the right things for your body, stretching, getting in, seeing a trainer. All of those things really helps the young guys develop, and hopefully they see him doing those things.
And when you get a guy like Janarian Grant in your room too, who's been so successful, scoring touchdowns on the special teams and things like that, and we all are waiting for him. We feel like it's coming for him to break out, have that one big receiving game. How do you keep him going too and keep his head on, and be ready for his moment?
Well, we just keep him motivated. The biggest thing, we got some packages for him each game, and once he's on the field, like you say, he's a dynamic player. We just got to do a great job of making sure we continue to keep him in the game plan.
When you're a wide receiver and you're developing, you're getting better, I've seen some guys along the way where it just kind of seems like the light goes on, and I know it's different for different guys. What do you look for in those indications, knowing, all right, this guy, he is ready to be prime time?
Yeah, well, I was actually talking about this today, and I talked about, just from experience, there's a point when the game slows down for a receiver, and they see the field, they see the coverages, they see the leverage of the defender. They're able to use that to their advantage, and at some point it clicks. You just, especially with these young guys, you just got to stay on them and keep introducing them to different things that they need to do to improve themselves in their game. And then at some point, that light switch flips, and they become pretty good players. A
lot of times players, they kind of take the role of their coach, that same attitude and the same personality. Can you tell us what Jaffar Williams' personality is like? How do you want your receivers to be? You want them to be talking, barking loud, or you just want them to go out there, execute their job, and let their play talk?
Well, I'm pretty intense if you've been to practice. The reason I do that is one, I want the best for all of them. I want every single guy to have success. But that doesn't mean always being your friend. That means coaching you and coaching you hard sometimes. But they also know that I care about them and I love them, and that's the most important thing. But I want them to be competitors, and I want them to hate to lose. That's the bottom line.
Jaffar Williams, Rutgers wide receivers coach, is our guest on the Chris Ash Show. One thing I have always wondered from a coach's standpoint, what makes a wide receiver a good slot guy versus being a good outside guy?
Well, slot guys, a lot of times, they don't get pressed. So you look at, your Hunter Hayeks and Janarian Grants. A lot of times those guys have to be good in finding zones. And it's having a feel and being able to find a zone where outside you can get pressed a lot more. So sometimes that guy has to be a little bit more physical on the line of scrimmage or have some speed, like Bo Melton and some of those players to be able to create separation for himself and not necessarily find zones.
And what are you talking about with your guys now that have to play some special teams? Wide receivers going down there and making some tackles on special teams. Can you talk a little bit about how get them a little bit pumped up for that? It's a little different role in catching balls and blocking.
Well, Coach Ash does a really good job of emphasizing how important that is. So everybody's involved in special teams, and I continue to mimic that when I go into my meeting rooms and tell them how important it is, because you want your best players on the field, and if you're a real player and you thrive to get better and help our team get better, you're going to want to be on the field all the time. So those are the type of kids we want to recruit. We want those guys that want to be on the field no matter what.
And lastly, before we let you go, you were a wide receiver at the University of Maryland back in the early 2000s. When you look at the younger guys, what from your experience as a player do you try to impart on them the most?
Just to stay patient and don't get frustrated. That's what, when you talk to some of the younger guys, they get frustrated because it's hard. I told them I remember going out there against Florida State and getting driven to the sideline as a true freshman, but that happens. And at some point when you stick with your technique, you stick with your preparation, at some point, that technique comes and like I said, the game slows down and you're able to go out and make some big plays.
Can you talk about, are you excited for like a guy like a DeCoven Bailey? You see him go out there versus Washington in the first game of the season and float through the air and make a catch like that, but now he's really showed up on special teams and things like that and being able to make tackles and being an all-around football player. Can you talk anybody else in that room that sticks out to you that's pretty much like an all-around guy that you can rely on to do multiple jobs?
Yeah, DeCoven is one, like you said, he does a lot of things for our football team. He's physical, he has good speed, good hands, and he's really developed into a really good route runner. He was a guy last year you talk about, he played in the slot, and then we actually moved him outside because of his strength and speed, and he's really adapted well. So, but he's not the only one. There's a couple guys in the room that are doing some good things. Mo Jabby, you want to talk about a guy who's selfless, who goes hard. Last week he played a lot in the game and probably graded out effort-wise as good as anybody I've ever had, just with his constant effort on the field. And he's awesome on special teams. But the biggest thing is just having the right attitude. If they have the right attitude, they'll go out there and they'll play hard and execute and play well.
He's a guy that is certainly familiar and has learned a lot from a pretty good wide receiver in Mohamed Sanu, that's for sure.
Definitely.
Listen, we appreciate you coming by. Thanks again. Continued success and best of luck this week up in Michigan.
Thank you very much.
Good luck, Coach.
Jaffar Williams, Rutgers wide receivers coach. Up next, the athletic director, Pat Hobbs, stops by. We'll chat about Rutgers and moving the Maryland game back to High Point Solution Stadium in a couple of weeks. We're going to return in a moment here at Quaker Steak and Lube in Edison as the Chris Ash Show continues.
Need a place to watch all the pro games? Look no further than Quaker Steak and Lube. Best Wings USA on Route 1 in Edison. 50 TVs, great game day specials starting at just $2.50, and the best wings in the USA with over 25 different wing sauces. Enjoy our outdoor patio and bar open all year round. On the way to the game and need something to go? Give us a call, 732-777-WING. We cater events of any size. Watch all the games, have a great time, and enjoy the best wings in the USA. 561 Route 1 in Edison. 732-777-WING.
For Rutgers fans, Saturday is game day. For business owners, it's another day in your work week. UPS gets that, and that's why they offer Saturday delivery so you can keep things running smoothly even while your customers drop everything for the game. Stay on top of your game. Ship with UPS, official logistics company of Rutgers Athletics.
The Chris Ash Show returns after this local timeout. This is the Rutgers IMG Sports Network.
You're on the couch watching the game, and your friend hands you an ice-cold bottle of Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. This is a big moment. That's the sound you love. And that new and improved taste? Yeah, that's the refreshing, delicious, real Coca-Cola taste that you just can't get enough of. All this with zero sugar and 0 calories. Perfection. And then, touchdown! Refresh your game day with the new and improved taste of Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. Taste the feeling.
Last time on College Sports Now.
You have to have dessert. When you get a full belly, all right, and I use this with my kids will tell me this, there's always a little space to fit a little creme brulee around. Now that it's like a pudding style with a little glaze on top. It fits in all of the nooks and crannies left in your belly.
Listen to College Sports Now, 10 a.m. to noon Eastern Time, Monday through Friday, exclusively on TuneIn, and follow along on Twitter at CSNowTweets. TuneIn, your everything audio app.
Twins left, one receiver right. Riccinio with the blitz coming. Gio looking. He's got Blackshear up and down the far sideline to the 10, cuts back and scores the touchdown.
Oh, look, they mixed it up finally. They did it.
Yeah, Eric enjoyed that one.
I did.
Raheem Blackshear's touchdown the other day, and Rutgers 14-12 win. Back on the Chris Ash Show, thrilled to welcome the Director of Athletics at Rutgers University, and that's Pat Hobbs. Pat, how are you?
I'm doing great. Good to be here with you and Eric, and looking forward to the dinner coming up on the 2nd.
Yes.
And a lot of good stuff in our future here.
Absolutely, and last week the news came that the game at Yankee Stadium had to be moved back to High Point Solution Stadium with their whole playoff situation being up in the air, and had to plan for it logistically. Just tell us about how it kind of came about, and I know the Yankees were really terrific through the process.
I cannot say enough about the Yankee organization and the way that they understood the challenges that we might have and the lead time that we would need in order to move a game. So when it looked like the Yankees were going to get to the World Series, they reached out to us and they said, look, we have a number of options, and we leave it up to you. And so I had my team there. And we talked because we got to reprint tickets. There's a lot people don't understand. It's not simply like you decide on a Thursday and you move a game back to the stadium on that Saturday. We needed the full 2 weeks of lead time, which is why some people ask me, "Why can you wait till Sunday?" But you really can't. You're losing 72 hours of time where you're printing tickets, you're getting information out to your fan base, giving people time to cancel whatever reservations they might have. So I can't thank the Yankees enough for the understanding and for working with us, and so we'll bring it back to the stadium, and we're gonna have a great day there.
And talk about bringing it back to the stadium. I got to see you actually at a tailgate earlier in the year this year, and I want to know, what is game day like for Pat Hobbs? When you get up in the morning and you get over to the stadium, what is game day like? The whole atmosphere, and what are you doing all throughout before the game and during the game?
Well, I love game day. There's no more exciting day than game day. I get to the campus very early, as you know, and it's not just that day. I go out to tailgates every Saturday on game day. I try to start as early as I can. I get out to the far tailgates. You want to thank people for coming out. You want to enjoy the excitement of game day. Then I get back for the team's arrival, and then we head right back out to visit other. Sometimes they're organized tailgates. Maybe like homecoming weekend, we had a number of organized tailgates, but you just want to get out and visit with people who've been tailgating for many years. They have their spots. Yep. They get set up. They have their special foods. They have their pound cakes that they make. And I have to watch how much I eat as I go through these tailgates. But it's fun. And then even after the game, I try to get out and say thank you to people. It's a big commitment of time, and we obviously we're all working hard to make folks proud. But you want to get out and you want to be visible and you want to say thank you to people.
So the entire move, with not just with the wrestling, or not just with the football game, but with wrestling, we now know the football game time will be 3:30, and wrestling will begin at noon, and there is re-entry after the first event here.
Yeah, this is going to be a really exciting day. I mean, we had 17,000 people come out to see us wrestle Princeton last year, and that was 6 hours before game time, and then we had Penn State, obviously, in the evening. This is going to be a real great opportunity for people to see, weather depending. Obviously, we hope we're going to get good weather, but we'll wrestle at noon. So we want as many people in so the record's 42,000 out at Iowa. So I would love if we could get 42,000 screaming Rutgers fans in the stadium for wrestling. So enjoy your tailgate. I'll be out there with you walking around. Let's get into the stadium at noon. This will be the debut of Nick Suriano, right? One of our wrestlers that just joined our team. This will be a great opportunity for folks to see just what Scotty Goodale is doing with his wrestling team. There's a lot of excitement around this season, and the football warm-ups will have started before this is over. So that's going to be a little exciting, too, as our football team comes off their Scarlet Walk. They walk down into the stadium as we're finishing up wrestling. That'll be the first time we can all be in the stadium and cheer our team on as they come in off the Scarlet Walk. And then people can go back out, tailgate for a little bit more, and then you got to be back in your seats, ready for kickoff, because there's nothing better than supporting our team with a full stadium at kickoff.
And Coach, you ever had success with some fall sports with the women's soccer team and the field hockey team, and now two back-to-back Big Ten wins. Are you excited looking now for the winter sports starting up? Between basketball and, as you said, wrestling, things like that. How excited are you for the winter sports? I'm very excited about what's coming. Women's soccer won again today against Michigan, 1-0 win. Yeah, let's hear some cheers for that. As you say, field hockey's had a great year. It's been sort of a breakout year for Coach Savico. We're really proud of her with that. Our men's soccer has struggled again a little bit, but a little injury, a lot of things play into that. But now we start to look forward to our winter sports. But we got a lot of football to go yet here.
Mm-hmm. No question we do. A little bummed out by the Yankee loss.
Oh, I'm a lifelong Yankee fan, so no one wanted to see them win and be in the World Series more than I did. It was a great season, and there's a really bright future for our Yankees.
Except for the guy to your right.
I know this guy. You had to
Phillies
bring that
fans
up.
here?
No. This guy had to bring up the Yankee loss. I'm a big fan as well. I thought we were gonna let that one go, Chris.
Can't let it go. Can't let it go. But they were phenomenal to work with through this whole situation, and I know that the relationship with the Yankees continues to be very strong.
It's very important. I mean, it's not. This wasn't just about bringing a game. I mean, there's a lot of co-branding that we do. Obviously, we have signage in Yankee Stadium. There's a lot that the Yankees do to promote Rutgers athletics, and we appreciate that. So we'll continue to work with the Yankees in terms of our marketing and getting some of their folks to our stadium. A lot of them come over to our stadium for our football games as well, and so they're an iconic brand. And as we build our brand, as we bring back success around Rutgers athletics, being associated with the New York Yankees is a pretty positive thing.
I was going to ask you, can you talk a little bit about the atmosphere it's going to be for the game, for the Maryland game, and the blackout?
Well, it's a blackout game. You're exactly
That's
right. So we're excited. We want a packed stadium. Look, we're really jazzed about how we're doing right now. We obviously go out to Michigan, a very good team out there. We go out this weekend, and our team's ready. They're excited. It's always an opportunity, right? And then we come back home and we have the blackout game. And we want to pack that stadium as full as we can get it. Hopefully the weather will work out with us with the wrestling, because I think it's really exciting. Look, every game day at Rutgers Stadium is an exciting day.
Pat, we will see you out at Michigan this week. I know you're excited for that game, and got a couple of more home games, one more now on campus. Good enough. We appreciate you coming by tonight.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Eric. Go RU.
Absolutely. Pat Hobbs, Rutgers Athletic Director, with us here on the Chris Ash Show. We'll come back with the coach in just a moment, get his thoughts on the matchup with the Wolverines this weekend. You're listening to the Chris Ash Show.
When Samantha was in dire need of a new heart, she turned to RWJ Barnabas Health, who performs more adult heart transplants than any healthcare system on the East Coast.
I'm still here.
Jean cherishes every moment spent with her great-grandkids, thanks to our kidney transplant program that ranks among the nation's top 10.
Still here.
Robert promised his granddaughter he'd make it to her next birthday. Thanks to New Jersey's only lung transplant center, he did.
I'm not going anywhere.
From corneal and pancreatic transplants to heart, kidney, and lung, our patients aren't who they used to be. They're better. Learn more about our transplant centers at Newark Beth Israel Medical Center, St. Barnabas Medical Center, and Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital. Visit rwjbh.org/transplant. RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
The Chris Ash Show returns after this local timeout. This is the Rutgers IMG Sports Network.
Need a place to watch all the pro games? Look no further than Quaker Steak and Lube. Best Wings USA on Route 1 in Edison. 50 TVs, great game day specials starting at just $2.50, and the best wings in the USA with over 25 different wing sauces. Enjoy our outdoor patio and bar open all year round. On the way to the game and need something to go? Give us a call, 732-777-WING. We cater events of any size. Watch all the games, have a great time, and enjoy the best wings in the USA. 561 Route 1 in Edison. 732-777-WING.
When you're looking for tickets to that sold-out event, there's only one place to go. TickCity.com, the official secondary ticket partner of Rutgers Athletics. Scarlet Knight fans can save 10% on all orders when you use the discount code Rutgers at checkout. From sporting events to the hottest concerts, Broadway and family shows across the country, all your ticket needs are covered at your fan-friendly ticket source. TickCity.com. That's TIXCITY.com.
Elijah Sindelar to throw, going deep left, and it's intercepted.
All right.
Damon Hayes at the 40-yard line of Rutgers. Rutgers wins this past week, 2 straight, and they're looking for their 3rd in a row this coming weekend on the road as they take on the Michigan Wolverines. We're back at Quaker Steak and Lube in Edison for this week's edition of the Chris Ash Show. Let us go back to the phones. Saul in Manalapan has been very patient. Saul, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Good. So, Chris, first of all, congratulations on the couple of wins. I'm a lifelong season ticket holder, so I'm coming to all the games, and it must feel great to at least get these couple of wins.
Yeah, it has. It's been great. It's been a lot of fun. Got a lot of work left to do, though.
You going against a team like Michigan. Based on what they did last year, based on what we see, what I see when I'm watching them on TV, they blitz all the time, and they have such fast defenders. How do you prepare for something like that? I mean, what can you do to overcome besides bubble screens or trying to run the ball? Because it seems like such a tough task.
Yeah, I mean, they do have an outstanding defense. They have for a few years now, and this year is no different. They've got a tremendous athletic ability at all 3 levels, the D-line, linebacker, and secondary. They do bring a lot of pressure. They play a lot of man-to-man coverage. And, to have success, it starts with not just abandoning the run because they're very stout. You got to still try to establish it a little bit. But you got to be able to protect the quarterback and get rid of the ball fairly quickly. And you got to try to take advantage of some of their man-to-man concepts. But there's a lot that goes into it. It is a tremendous challenge because of their overall speed and athletic ability, and just the style of defense they play presents challenges also. So we do have to get rid of the ball quick. We want to try to avoid negative yardage plays. We want to protect the quarterback, and we don't want to give up on the run. We still have to try to run the ball a little bit too.
Got less than a minute left. This gentleman here with a question, sir. Your name?
Coach, with the emergence of Raheem Blackshear becoming possibly one of your most dynamic offensive players, do you make concerted effort with Coach Kill to kind of get him more involved the rest of the season, or you kind of take it more week by week?
We are trying to evolve our offense to get the ball into Raheem's hands a little bit more. He's earned that right. I think he's demonstrated on Saturdays he's a difference maker. But it is a little bit week by week also. We're not just going to jam something into Raheem just because we think it's the right thing to do if it's not the best thing for our football team. But he has earned the right to get more touches.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
We got about 10 seconds left. A quick thought on Michigan this week.
Just another opportunity to try to go out and improve. It's a very good football team. It's on the road in the Big Ten. Those are always 2 challenging things, and I'm just happy the way our team continues to prepare and work and stay together, and we just want to go out and play the best we can.
Great seeing you as always, my friend.
Great seeing you as well. Good luck, Coach, this weekend.
Thank you.
Good luck. We appreciate it, Coach. We will see you this coming Saturday. Rutgers at Michigan is 12 noon game on BTN and on the Rutgers IMG Sports Network. And, of course, back here next Wednesday night for the next edition of the Chris Ash Show. We thank Colin Osborne, Tim DeMartin, Paul Schrager, of course, Hasim Phillips, and Jimmy Gill. For the coach and for Eric LeGrand, I'm Chris Carlin. Have a great night, everybody. Thanks for coming by the Chris Ash Show.
You've been listening to The Chris Ash Show on the Rutgers IMG Sports Network. Join us throughout the season from Quaker Steak and Lube on US 1 in Edison to hear from the head football coach of the Scarlet Knights. The Chris Ash Show has been brought to you by The Chris Ash Show is an exclusive presentation of IMG, America's home for college sports.